Isn't that unhinged?
That's great.
Even with context, pretty sus.
God can strike me down if I'm lying? That motherfucker's cheating!
Console Crusade Podcast. We're here. I'm EJ Olson with Nick Durheim.
Are you just straight up putting mustard on bread? Oh, there's mayo too.
What?
Give the man some credit. Chris Gilly
Is there
4.
meat in there?
What are you doing?
All I saw was bread.
I have to do them in somewhat. This is the top bun. The top bun.
That's all I saw. All I saw was top bun. I thought you were just getting bread.
This man's flopping his
Like a
buns
duck.
around. I imagine Chris ain't gonna have much to say this episode.
I have plenty to say.
He's gonna be crushing this freaking donger sandwich. What is that?
He got mayo on his cord.
Oh. We're off to a great start here.
He's greasing the cord for the audio quality.
I don't feel good, okay? I just want to eat.
Chris is hungover. He's got a sandwich.
I've never been more excited for a sandwich in my life. I'm Chris Gilly 4. Hi. I don't know if you got the name out or not, or if we were just too busy with the other stuff.
Oh, I did. Listen, I take my hosting duties very seriously, Chris. So seriously that I'll even remember to plug the solo.to/console crusade page where you can find all of our links, including a link to the Discord, okay? Up front this time.
I haven't listened back yet to the previous podcast in which you were not there, but I assume that you did a dynamite drop-in where you plugged the Discord and the solo.to and the... Okay, well.
No. I cleaned you up.
I think I mentioned it at the very end of the podcast. I might have. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I cleaned it up, boys. I cut out your crosstalk. I cut out your pee break. Chris having to let his wife in the house after locking herself out. And, I did listen to the
Deep
podcast while I was driving around this week. Good stuff. I am almost angry at how much Chris is liking Dark Souls. I was seething. How dare you like something that I don't like?
Seething? Seeth the scaleless?
Oh, jeez. It's all connected.
EJ Scaleless.
This week, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We got a little what we've been playing, I guess. And Chris, you have to ask me questions about Skyrim because this is my first serious playthrough in a lot of years. Nick did not come to Eugene this weekend, but he played a lot of games on the Switch, it looked like. A lot of demos.
I was doing a demo derby.
Nuts out, dude.
Nuts out, sitting on the ground. Mostly for the benefit of anybody who wants to creep into my profile and see what I've been playing recently. As I know, because I do that, I know others do as well. So, say la vie.
Yeah, it is a nice little insight into our own brands of sickness. Tetris 99, over 1,000 hours played.
Yeah, or you, EJ, like, I would just see you popping into Pokemon all the time. And it was pretty worrying. It got me concerned. Not enough to, intervention you or anything, but I knew. I was watching from afar.
I'm still grinding out my there's a lot to
living
do.
decks.
There's a lot to do. A lot of Pokemon Home, a lot of organization, a lot of rating.
You got to do it as you go, man. I'm telling you, you're going to be a happier camper with some of these games that you want to complete if you just take the time to do it on the journey, amigo.
Well, I can't go back 20 years, but I can go forward. And it's never been easier. I think almost every Pokemon, like maybe less than a handful, are now available on the Switch, one way or the other. So if they would just put some goddamn legacy games on the Virtual Console and give us Pokemon Bank integration or Pokemon Home, but why would they do that?
By which I mean, just to clarify, catch them all as you go through Scarlet or Violet or whichever one you have, rather than zerging the story and then having to go back and shit, where did I go? And crap, what's over there? And doing a lot of that tedium.
Yeah, you miss out on the great story that every Pokemon game has.
Yeah, I definitely zerged. I like that phrasing, Chris. The main story and all of the extra stuff, and I beat all the gym leaders again. There's a lot of content in this game, but it's because of the nature of the open world, it's like you can kind of do what you want, but honestly, you just find so many candies if you do raids that you level your Pokemon up way past where they should be, and so everything is easy. But I heard the DLC gets really tough, and I haven't done the DLC yet because I got distracted with other games like Platinuming Hades, which I also finished since last we spoke. Good-ass game. Maybe we can talk about the Hades 2. I don't know how much more of that you watched, Chris. The Hades tech demo.
None of it after that first little bit.
Gotcha.
It's just been all Dark Souls all the time. I think I'm getting pretty close, and maybe Nick can check me on that.
Well, you've got 3 more Lord Souls to get, and then DLC, then boss.
I have one more. Well, okay, I have one more to get that I know of so far, and then I know there is a 4th one. I don't know where that is yet.
Well, last I heard, correct me if I'm wrong. Last I heard, you started Duke's Archives, and you beat Seath, the big lizard man. I don't know what else you've done since then because you've been drunk in a stupor in a ditch somewhere. So I haven't heard more from you.
Yeah, no, that's yes. I did when I finally roused myself enough today. I got back at it and I finished. I did all the catacombs and I did the Tomb of the Giants today. Yeah, Seath, golly. So you sent me that side quest pathing guide that's like, that basically suggests an order.
Very minimalist.
Yeah, I did not do that order. When I went through Anor Londo the first time, I found the golden mist gate that was blocking off what turned out to be the Duke's Archives. And so as soon as I saw the little barriers, I was like, oh, I know where that one is. I'm going to go do that first. That area is fucking tough. That area is tough. I feel like that probably was later in the pathing that he suggested for a reason. And then Seath specifically just fucking absolutely cooked by Goose. I mean, I think, honest to God, I sent you a text, Nick, that was about like 3:57 or 11:57. I don't know, like 57. That was, I'm getting ready to start. And then almost 5 hours later, I was done. And I looked back to when I first texted you about Seath and went, oh, I probably could have one-timed him, but I got too hung up on the tail. And I feel like that is true. I was having some pretty insane RNG in terms of the crystals that he was spawning, and I had not changed my loadout at all yet, so I had not beefed up any of my curse protection. And I had him down at least half health just from like trying to hit the tip of the tail to get the sword. An hour and 20 minutes later, I finished it. And that is consecutive attempts. That is a nonstop consecutive runbacks. Holy shit. I had to completely change my whole loadout to buff out my curse resistance. I'm already wearing Hovel's Ring so I can have extra equip weight. And I threw on the Ring of Favor protection to add even more equip weight so that I could equip Hovel's entire set to buff out my curse resistance. I threw on the Blood Shield so that I could add even more curse resistance. And I was still just getting fucking cooked every time. I was also getting missed inputs, or maybe it had to do with the timing delay of standing up after getting hit with his crystal attacks. Between those two things, I was like slamming Y to try to hit Estus flasks to recover in between the crystal attacks, and they was just like not processing. And so I'm dying a lot, whether that's from missed inputs or from the delay of me standing. And now I can push Y and it will register it. I could accidentally push left or right when I'm on a fucking ladder. And when I got off the ladder, it'll switch my fucking left or right hand weapon, but it won't let me like press Y and have that reconcile after I stand up. Cause fuck me, I guess. But I did eventually kill him. As I told you, Nick, there was no elation, only relief. I was like, thank fucking God it's over. I never have to do this fight again. And then I headed down to the catacombs and got some skelly revenge. I'm really glad that you had mentioned to me a long time ago that with divine weapons, the skeletons will not respawn. And I had spec'd the winged spear over to divine and had buffed it to +5. So I had a pretty solid weapon within my playstyle that I could use on a lot of the respawning skeletons in the catacombs. The Tomb of the Giants was annoying. I had a skull lantern from killing all of the little creepy mage dudes in the catacombs, but I didn't know how to use it. So I like put it on my right hand and I'm just like swinging it and the area is not getting any brighter. I'm like, how the fuck does this work? So I Googled it and like, oh, you use it like a shield. I'm like, God damn it. Like, why would you do this? Why wouldn't it just work the way you want it to work? So I figured that out finally and crawled through that area. Patches kicked me off the cliff like Patches does.
Of course. Love him.
Yep. Saved Rhea.
You greedy guts.
He's great. I love him.
Looking for treasure.
I probably would have tried to
piece of shit.
kill him if I didn't know that he was going to sell me some cool stuff later if I didn't kill him and forgave him. So I did it. I saved Rhea. Yeah, and then did the fucking Gravelord Nito
Pinwheel?
Gravelord Nito fight. Oh yeah, Pinwheel. Pinwheel was cool. That was I first timed that. That was not like a hard fight. It just took a couple minutes of trial and error of me like hitting the illusions and realizing it wasn't doing anything. Going, oh, they only have one mask. Where's the one with 3 masks? And then closing distance of basically just like cutting it to pieces with my Black Knight halberd. I tried to use that sword and I didn't. I thought I was going to like it. I didn't like it. The Gravelord Greatsword or Gravelord Saber, whatever the fuck it's called. It's too slow. It's and it also reduces my range pretty substantially. So I went back to the Black Knight halberd.
You're addicted to that long reach.
I really value being able to space these fights because when I'm trying to figure out how
I
hard
thought you
that
were
shit's
all
gonna
aggro, Chris. You're talking about how aggressive you are, getting up in that ass.
Hey!
But no, you're just sticking with the halberd, poking from far away.
that is aggro. I'm not shielding. I'm maintaining like perfect spacing. I'm hitting. I'm backstepping. I'm not blocking.
Wearing Havel's armor and using a halberd is not exactly aggro, Chris.
Well, I went back to the stone set after that fight because I was like, I'm not keeping the Ring of Favor protection on forever. I just let it break. I was like, I don't care. I value my, I don't know, switchability in there. But yeah, I did Pinwheel, did the tomb. It was really fucking cool when you're getting towards the end of the giant tomb that you could see Ash Lake. I was like, oh, that's so tight. For a half second, I was like, oh my God, is there a shortcut here I didn't know about? That's amazing. And there wasn't. But it was just really cool to be like, this world is interconnected. I love that.
Yeah, I like all the different vantage points that aren't really like. This is to show you, yeah, this world is very connected. Like when you're down in Blighttown and you look up and you can see Firelink and like the tree above Firelink towering above you from the swamp. I love that shit. Or Valley of the Drakes from New Londo, all that kind of stuff. I love how you can actually see the connections before you actually find the shortcuts.
Yeah.
So 2, you've done 2.
I've done 2. Yeah, I did the Nito fight, which was like fine. The first time I did pretty good, but I picked up aggro on all of the skeletons and got kind of overwhelmed. And a couple attempts later, I kind of thinned the herd with the winged spear so that they wouldn't respawn. And then
It's kind of like a bread and butter kind of boss fight, sort of going around the room, trying to pick off the ads. A good boss fight, but like nothing too crazy or difficult, especially after Ornstein and Smo, which I think is probably the hardest boss fight in the game, maybe? I don't know. You first tried it, but then you took an hour and a half on Seath, which I've only ever one-shot, so like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Things are different for different people.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
I probably tried to get too tanky with Seath. I think that I was like, my curse resistance, some of the walkthrough videos I watched, like they had a similar loadout and they were definitely not getting cursed the amount of times that I got cursed in that fight. And I think they were just getting good RNG. Cause that was not the experience I had. Yeah, Nito was easy. Once I had some of the skellies dead and then he did his big like rage wave attack and killed the remaining ones that I hadn't gotten. I'm like, oh, this is cake. Now you have like 2 attacks you're going to do when I'm close to you. And I just like cut him up. Yeah, I'm having a great time. I think I have to go to New Londo now, which, not looking forward to that. I was hoping to have the Cursed Greatsword of Artorias to use so that I wouldn't have to use transient curses and could just like switch weapons when I was fighting ghosts. But I don't have enough intelligence for that. I'm a dum-dum. So
Unga Bunga.
Unga Bunga. I did start using more faith and have some miracles now that I'm kind of messing with for my second equip in the left hand behind the shield, some like healing magic and stuff like that, just to kind of keep messing with stuff. Pyromancy's been fun, but I think I value like regen a little bit more. Anyway, Dark Souls, still loving it.
If you rock a little bit of humanity and put on the covetous gold serpent ring, you will get plenty of transient curses from all the ghosts that you kill. So as long as you start with at least one, you'll be riding Gucci until you drop the water and you move on from the ghost land and into the darkness.
Yeah, I think I have 9.
That's
don't know.
plenty. That's like an hour of plummeting.
It's true. And I've already
Depths.
swept the first level anyway.
Well, you have to go all the way back and get, because you open up a shortcut, but it's not a very good shortcut to the rooftop guy. So it's like, you might just have to walk all the way over there anyway. You could sprint past the ghost, but they will stagger lock you, and I don't know, you could put on Havel set again and run real slow.
No,
the option.
I'll just fight them.
Sounds like a lot of fun. It's a lot of gibberish. It's a lot of gobbledygook fantasy names, which, let me tell you, there's a lot of in Skyrim.
Oh!
How's that for a segue, boys?
Hey, you know what else came out in 2011? The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Really?
Yeah, they came out like a few weeks apart.
Wow.
Also, Skyward Sword, shout out.
Meanwhile, let's see. Dark Souls has had Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. How many DLCs? A remake of Demon Souls, and Elder Scrolls has done nothing in 13 years.
Not true. There's been like definitive editions. You can play it in VR now.
Oh yeah, the version where they just took a bunch of modders content and lazily threw it in and repackaged the entire thing at full price. Yes. You're right.
Yeah, they
They're
did
working
that.
hard. Listen, they all transitioned
And then they
to
put out
Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah.
Really an all-time classic right there.
Fallout 4.
Yes.
Fallout 76.
Oh God, Jesus, stop it.
Anyway, how's Skyrim been going?
I don't know what it was. I do know what it was. I was playing Hades, which I owned physically.
Was it Brandon?
It was not Brandon. It was not. I had Hades physically, and I was looking for a palette cleanser that I could swap to without having to swap discs because I'm lazy. So I was on the PS library. Dang, there's a lot of games. So I downloaded a few things. I downloaded Hollow Knight, I downloaded Skyrim, I downloaded Metal Hellsinger, which I think might be a fun little run, and I downloaded Dead Cells, and just something I could just swap to quickly and fuck around with. And then I went to the beach. I took my PlayStation with me. I just said, fuck it, man. I'm at the beach. Last time I played Skyrim was at the beach like 5-6 years ago. So I said, fuck it. I'll just play Skyrim. And then I did nothing at the beach except for sit in a hotel and play Skyrim for almost 3 days. Not nothing. We ate. We hung out outside. But it was raining the whole weekend, so there was nothing to fucking do. I just played video games while looking at the ocean. I'm trying to prioritize doing all the things that I've never done before, which is a lot. Never done Dragonborn. Never beat Dawnguard. Never did the Dark Brotherhood.
Dawnguard it.
Dawnguard it. I did the Dark Brotherhood to completion today. That was freaky and interesting. The trophy list is actually pretty solid. It's basically just story trophies for all of the main factions. And then get to level 10, 20, 50, clear 100 dungeons, get one skill to level 100, have 100,000 gold on you at one time. Just pretty basic things that are definitely grinders and definitely change the way you play the game. I have to have 100,000 gold on me at once, which means I haven't been able to spend any gold through 50 hours of a playthrough. I've spent nothing. And just slowly selling things. And I'm like, oh man, when I finally get that trophy, I'm going to go buy every freaking house on this continent. It's been good. I'm 30% trophy completion on the base game. About halfway through Dawnguard now. So it's funny because this game felt dated in a lot of ways when it came out, even 13 years ago. The physics were janky and the combat leaves a little to be desired just because it's so imprecise. And the whole stamina system where if you hold back on the joysticks different directions, you'll get different versions of a stamina attack when you're using a melee weapon. It's just it was always kind of janky and dumb, and it really hasn't held up.
And how many of those are you going to use anyway? You reminded me that feature even existed in this moment, the pull back with held attack to do something else. And it's you may have one you per specific weapon, but
not even. Totally goofy. But like I said, they're not holding up so well in 2024, and that's unfortunate. So it's definitely been kind of a nuisance at times. And I'm playing on PlayStation 5, so I don't have access to any of the mods that I would otherwise have and am used to having. They integrated some of the fixes. The game runs and looks a lot nicer. I'm actually pretty surprised at how nice the lighting is, just introducing the God rays and redoing the lighting system. running at a smooth 60 frames per second, except for in like Windhelm, which never ran well, no matter what system you're playing on. Yeah, it's decent. It's just a decent little collection. A lot of the user-made content, there's interesting things, but you can tell that it's user-made content, And even the best mods were like, oh, okay, this is clearly not properly vetted and iterated by a professional design team. But there are cool quests, like I can inherit different houses now for doing like weird quests. So for example, one of them was like, I show up to this farm and get attacked by a ghost, and I kill the ghost, and he has a note on his body talking about how his son is missing and he thinks his wife did it. And so you like keep like uncovering the mystery, and then you find like a secret room where this woman was like brewing potions, and it turns out that she thinks that the husband did it. And then you find the kid like dead in a well somewhere, and it's pretty dark. And you end up like returning something of the boy to the home to like let his soul rest, and all the whole family of ghosts show up, and they're like, thank you. And then they're like, you can have this house now. So now I just have a sick house in the middle of nowhere.
What?
I have farmhands running it, and now every time I go back to the house, they have like thousands of septums for me, just gold upon gold. And they're just like, I got cows and goats and chickens. So anyway, I love that. And the thing I love the most about this game, even though it's so janky, is I just get so absorbed in the role-playing aspects of it. I want to collect all my gold, and I want to build my farm out, and I want to buy every piece of property that I can, and I want to build these relationships. And god damn it, I can't marry my hot vampire girlfriend Serana. Why after 14 iterations of this game did they not fix that? And I can't use a mod to let me marry her, okay, because it'll disable trophies, so I'm just going modless. It sucks. It's terrible. Anyway, I will say, despite its jank, and I know, Nick, you bounced off this game even back in the day.
I've never tried it.
I thought you played this. I thought you started Skyrim, and you're like, eh.
No.
You've fucking never played Skyrim? What are you smoking? You're going to hate it now. In 2024, you are not going to like it.
I played Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails a month ago.
The thing about this game, and I've alluded to this before, and I've tried to articulate like why games like The Witcher to me, despite having a way bigger map and it's this big open world, you can do whatever you want, and Skyrim sort of really kicked off that trend of like every game has to have the biggest map possible and it has to be open world, and we got so many games that didn't need to fucking be open world that were, and it just didn't work because what Bethesda is able to do with, and I don't know if this is if I'm articulating right, but there's this level of granularity as you're moving through the world, whether you're in third person or first person, where like everywhere you go, there is something to look at, there's something to pick up, there's something to open, there's something to futz around with, and it just feels like real life. Whereas in The Witcher, you're like, everything is visually much more detailed, even though those games are only 4 years apart. The world is rich and colorful, and if you just stop and look around, you're like, holy shit, there's so much here. But you can't talk to any of the people. There's nothing to pick up unless you like find a random chest. There's like this screen between me and the character, literally, in a way that there isn't when I'm playing Elder Scrolls, and I'm just like caught up in the role playing of it. And not a lot of games have done that to me. I had mentioned how last year, 2 years ago, I had tried to play it on Xbox, and I was like, man, I don't know. This game's dated, and I wasn't into it. And so trophies, kind of brought me back. I'm like, okay, I can grind this game out.
Yep, there it is. Gotta get the plat.
I'm like constantly like last night I get on with the guys to play Call of Duty. I'm like, I got 1 hour and then I'm back to Skyrim. Like even Call of Duty can't pry me away from this. I'm on a freaking roll right now. So anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying Skyrim fucks.
It's really funny that you've been playing this much Skyrim. I had no idea that you were actually playing Skyrim, and I made that joke about you loading up a game full of mods and playing for 10 minutes the other day, and pretty appropriate. But also wildly wrong. No mods. Just
vanilla
raw dogging it on PS5.
Vanilla, dude. And playing a lot of it. I'm deep on it right now. And I'm hoping I can get over the hump. At least get the base trophy. I would like to just clear out all the DLC. Just get the monkey off my back. This is my golden playthrough. This is the final
Great White Buffalo.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it over with. It'll live on the top 100 forever.
Wow. Get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you mean, but just the way you phrased it seems like it's a chore.
I got to take my medicine. No, it's like one of my favorite games ever. Definitely in the top 10 of all time. Played it when it came out. It brought me back to video games in a really big way. Like I had on a lark decided to like buy an Xbox 360 off of Craigslist, mostly to play Assassin's Creed and like Lego Star Wars and shit. Just to fuck around. Had a Netflix machine because I was living on my own for the first time. And the first time I played Skyrim, I was playing on like a 30-inch Sony CRT television. You couldn't read any of the text. It was completely unhinged.
Oh my god, the text. Oh my god, the text size in
The
the Elder
thinnest
Scrolls
font
5.
known to man.
Yeah, man. It's Chris has it right. And I remember for Christmas that year, because it was funny. I was with my dad at Best Buy. I don't even know. I think I met him at Best Buy because I was on my parents' phone plan and I had to make a change to my phone and I wasn't an account manager, so my dad has
You had to get the
drive
brand new
out.
iPhone.
Something like that. So my dad and I are at Best Buy dealing with this. And on a lark, I was like, oh, there's this game I heard about. I had watched the IGN review where they give it a 10 out of 10. And I had seen my friends tweeting about it the day it came out. I'm like, oh, this looks kind of fucking crazy. And now I have an Xbox, so I can play it. And on a lark, I was just like, I want to go check out this game. And I went and they had a copy. And my dad was like, here. My dad bought me a copy of Skyrim.
You're still paying him back to this day.
Literally. And then for Christmas that year, he got me a little 32-inch 720p flat panel television. And it was like, oh, just glorious. Going from the CRT to 720p. No scan lines. No little dot matrix. I could read the text. It was beautiful, man. And I played so much Skyrim. And John Aldrich, our old roommate and good buddy, would just sit in my room and drink beer and watch me play Skyrim. He's like, I don't know video games, man, but this is crazy. I'm like, dude, isn't it crazy?
Well, probably just taking in the nice tunes and then you getting launched into the sky by some giant and being like, that's pretty funny.
The vibes in this game, I always knew they were S tier, but even coming back to it,
Double S.
they just nail when the ambiance should be taking over, when they should have these little orchestral flourishes, and there's so many of them. And when you're out in just the open tundra and you get the swell, it makes you feel cozy and at home. I don't know, man. It just really hits for me. And, Sarah's sitting here reading while I'm playing, and I sometimes I'll put the controller down while I'm futzing on my phone, looking something up, whatever. And you go to your little screensaver while the camera starts rotating around, and you just hear the flora and the fauna rustling of the leaves, and the bunny goes by, and the swell of the orchestra, and then it dies down, and it's just some strings gently in the background. And Sarah's like, it's been a long time since I heard this. It's kind of nice. I'm like, I know! It's great! S tier, dude! And I'm going to get that goddamn platinum. I decided not to do something easy and short after grinding the fuck out of Hades.
I think, I'm going to throw it out there. I think that a little bit of jank makes great games even better.
There's a part of me that just, especially after playing something like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where the traversal options are just so much more seamless. And I mean, even being able to climb a rock, not trying to like jankily hop up a mountain, and there are issues. The map's iconic. The map sucks. The skill tree, iconic. The skill tree sucks. Like there's just, you know what I mean? There's so many issues with it, but Bethesda at one point just knew how to make a goddamn immersive, compelling, deep video game. And I know it's showing its age. I guess there's a reason they haven't done anything like this since. They haven't done Elder Scrolls. 13 years is crazy, man. Was there 13 years between the first Elder Scrolls and Skyrim?
What was the first Elder Scrolls? Was it Daggerfall? Was that the first one?
Arena,
Arena,
baby.
That had to be like mid-90s, right? There's no way that was any earlier than 1998.
When did Bethesda, as we know them, Game Studios was like early
BGS?
2000?
No, like I think late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I mean, you got to think that Morrowind was on the Xbox, so they had a few games before that.
Elder Scrolls Arena, 1994.
Yeah, so
17 years, not
17 years. And there's a pretty good chance that it will be 17 years before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
at least.
2028? I think that's doable. I think they can do it.
I certainly hope they can. I mean, it's so funny looking at the release for Bethesda games. Arena, Daggerfall, a couple of spin-offs, Battlespire, Redguard. Okay, you got Morrowind, a bunch of DLC, Oblivion, a bunch of DLC, Skyrim in 2011, and then it's just Skyrim Special Edition, Legends, Skyrim VR, bunch of ESO bullshit that no one cares about, like Anniversary Edition.
That's just it, man. Is the support for Elder Scrolls Online?
But isn't that a ZeniMax joint?
Completely different studio.
Yeah.
It's ZeniMax Online. They have
Oh,
they have
okay.
a dedicated studio just for that game.
If Bethesda proper was actually working on Elder Scrolls Online might have been worth playing, but it felt
Same with Fallout 76.
Anyway, what do you do? That's a Skyrim, right? It's great. It belongs exactly where it is in the top 100, which is quite high. I think it might be. Did it get shuffled around? Is it still in the top 10?
Probably.
We could probably.
EJ, for you, I will play that game eventually.
Well, I've been here.
It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. It's not going anywhere in the top 100. It's gonna get played.
I just want you to like something that I like once, just one time.
EJ, imagine how I feel.
I like so many things that you like.
Not at my behest, though.
Sometimes I just have to, eventually give them a go.
Very rarely.
Give them a go. And we playing
boy.
Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door with you in a couple weeks when that comes
Gabagool.
out.
Give 'em a
You
go.
know?
Gabagool.
Gabagool. I played Super Mario RPG with you, dorks.
I was more on Chris's behest. He was begging and pleading.
Yeah.
We did. Skyrim number 7 on the top 100, just above Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and below Smash Bros. Melee. Seems reasonable to me.
We've got good taste.
Nick had a nice lonely weekend. Lindsay was out of town, so I joked he's just got his nuts out and he's sitting on the floor just doing guy things, being a dude.
Crisscross applesauce, bear nuts.
Like bear nuts or like bear nuts?
Whatever you want. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so the demos I played were a lot of weeb shit. Some pretty cool little things. Yeah, I played a lot. Okay, so just to go in chronological order, I played the demo for Cry Machina, Johanna the Parhelion Blaze in the Deep Blue, Fate Samurai Remnant, Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless, Snakebird, Cat Quest 3, Umbra Claw, Skeller Boy, Saga Emerald Beyond, Promenade, Penny's Big Breakaway, Anton Blast, Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, and then Johanne the Parhelion Numazoo in the Mirage.
You don't even give a fuck about the games. You just like the names. You're just trying to find the most unhinged name. Deedlit and Wonderland wasn't enough for you.
There's no ceiling to my degeneracy.
That Anton game looks like maybe a good Wario adjacent sniff.
I was getting real big Boogerman vibes. Very big Genesis, ridiculous, not quite gross out, but like that, like every time you do something, you hear like a kind of sound. Like that is that game. Very, very bombastic. No like puns about it. I mean, that's literally the guy's. It's called the Dynamite demo. There's a lot of stuff about blowing things up. But yeah, nuts, rapid platformer. And then at the end of the level, you have to like rush back through the level that you just cleared. So depending on what routes you take and how you clear the path beforehand, that can affect your routing back. So it seems like a speedrun type game, very much. So you're not playing these levels just once, calling it good. But yeah, I'll go through and like talk about some of the ones that I didn't hate. Fate Samurai Remnant was like a bad Warriors. Didn't get a good vibe on that. Disgaea 7, I kind of bounced off. I don't think I even really got into like combat. It was just like, man, this seems like the 7th in a strategy role-playing series for 7 people. So no thanks. Snakebird was really good. That's like a puzzle game. It is snake adjacent in that you are a character. What goes up, left, down, and right. And then as you eat things, your character gets longer, but you have physics. So if you move your body and suddenly you're in midair, you're going to drop down. You have gravity on you. So you're trying to move your character around, gather all the fruit, and then get to the exit portal. You should give it a try. It's a lot of fun. Real good little puzzle game.
I know I've asked this before. Do you only play demos for games that you know have physical copies? Or is that not part of the calculus here?
I don't think Snakebird's been around for a long time. I remember hearing people talk about it on a podcast once. as like a good puzzle game. So I just wanted to try it out.
What happens if you love a game and it doesn't have a physical copy? You know what that would do to Chris and I? That would not sit well with us. It happens.
That's a
sometimes.
bummer, but I mean, I lived most of my life just like buying games and not really caring the format in which I purchased them. So I'm not going to like start really, I'm not going to not buy a game just because it doesn't exist physically. I will not buy a game if I think it will or know it will get a physical release. Sometimes I'll just double dip if I'm like super stoked on a game.
I double dip a lot. I'm impatient and sick.
Yeah, I bought Dead Cells on PC and then it got a Switch release with a physical copy, and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that. I don't even love Dead Cells, but it had like a Game of the Year edition or Action Game of the Year edition, so I got that. Cat Quest 3 is a nice little top-down action adventure game, kind of Zelda-ish, very low stakes, cozy. Just run around, mash the Y button. If you're thinking about playing like a Lego game, don't play that trash. Play Cat Quest. Try to Umber Claw. That's another game from Indie Creates. They do the Gunvolt series. You play as a cat. So, point 1 for Chris and EJ. But I don't know, it's pretty thin. It's each time you die, you get more powers. And the point is to not die, because as you get more powers, you become less of a cat and more of like a demon beast. And you're just trying to like balance the cat version of humanity, your felinity or whatever.
That's a very interesting concept.
And there's different like difficulty levels. Like there's an easy mode where, because if you die 9 times, then you're done for. There's like a permadeath version of the game where you die 9 times and it's a game over, start from the beginning. Or you can spend a currency as you collect it to reduce your deaths to make you more of a cat again. Because as a base cat, all you can do is climb walls and dodge through enemies. The first time you die, you get an attack button. So it's kind of like, well, the attack button's really useful, but I kind of want to do this game deathless, because that seems like the platonic ideal of finishing this game. I don't know. It's got like a nice aesthetic. It's kind of got like very big, bold colors and thick outlines. Still pixel art like ish. So it's got like almost like a Dia de los Muertos kind of vibe, but a cat and made by the Japanese. And you get this very sad start where you're like, I'm a cat and I used to be alive, and you're being held up by this little girl and she's like, I love my cat. And then you're dead. So you have to get back to the living realm because all you know is this person that loved you. So it's got like very, very small, like, hey, are you going to feel something about this cat? But it's like, not really. It seems fine. Worth a shot. I mean, it's a demo. That's what demos are for. It's about figuring out if it's worth a shot. It said Skeller Boy. That is like some weird Spanish indie game. A lot of typos. It's trying to like do vibes, like spooky vibes. Wasn't really hitting. Dropped that after like 5 minutes. Gave it the old Spider-Man try. Same with Saga Emerald Beyond. My goodness, that game. I don't understand how Square Enix is still making this franchise and who is buying it. Because the budget that goes into this game, it's got to be like 6 people, like in a closet somewhere that they forgot they're making these games. It does not make sense. There's like, it is, I don't know how to explain this. So, you know how, saying like Hades, okay, a character's talking, they have a little character portrait on the side. It's a good, effective way to display emotion from this character who's like talking to you. Maybe it's voiced, maybe it's not. Saga does that, but it's with a 3D model. So it's just still images of a 3D model.
Ugh.
Like doing weird shit. And I don't actually remember if it's voiced, but it's like, it's really, 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 really cheap feeling and nonsense. It's a lot of nonsense. Like you could like, I guess the premise is you could play as a bunch of different characters. And it's like a branching, interconnected story, I guess, maybe. Or just like a lot of different stories all at once. But you only can choose one character from the beginning. And it's this girl who, she's like a witch. And she has to go through some sort of trial to like get full witchness. She's like a student. She's on Earth, I think, but she's not from Earth. and there's a cat that's like talking to you. There is voice acting. There's a cat that's talking to you in like full on English sentences. Not like a Salem the cat, funny haha cat. It's just like a cat who's just like talking to you like a grown ass man. And she gets attacked by a man with a gun who shoots her magic away. And then she gets saved by some lady who says that she's like the goddess of sorcery. And then that you have to regain your magic by finding stray cats. And you find stray cats by holding a button in this overworld map, and then a line points you to this other spot in the overworld where the cat is. You go over there, you press A, and it says, you picked up a cat. You got more magic back. And that's been the game, I guess.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was pretty wretched. Play a little bit of Promenade. That's like a 2D hand animated, not like really good hand animation, not Cuphead level, but pretty nice, not too flashy. Not like Flash, Adobe Flash, not too bad like that, but it's got some kind of Klonoa vibes where you have this, I think it's a boomerang, you throw something and you pick up enemies and then you jump with them and then you release the throwy button. Like you hold the throw button to carry the item. That's what you do in like platformers. You release the throw button to do a double jump. So that's kind of got an interesting little twist to it where you're using your enemies as a platforming ability and then there's like a crouch roll that feels kind of nice. That was actually pretty fun. I would recommend giving that a check.
Are there any of these games so far that you liked enough to stick with it and either buy the full thing or at least carry on, or have these all been pretty bite-sized? No thank yous.
I would say that 80% of these games are not out yet, so I don't really have an opportunity to purchase them. And then a lot of them, I have 300 games that I own.
It's a lot.
For the Nintendo Switch. And I don't really need to buy more. I just wanted to do a little taste test. I wanted to go to the buffet, sample the platters, I don't know where that analogy goes beyond that, but I just wanted to try some stuff. I didn't want to like find my next game, right? I'm already in Dark Souls. I'm like 2/3 of the way through that game. I'm going to be cranking through that thing, finishing her up with Chris, maybe fight some more bosses together. Maybe drag him into my world. We can fight Seath my way. I don't know. I mean, we'll figure it out. But these were just like a passing fancy, a Saturday with my nuts out on the ground.
There you go.
Going full, just like Neanderthal, unga bunga through some demos. Just trying some stuff, looking at what the Switch has to offer in the demos. Because you can just go to the eShop and say, show me demos. And when I tell you, I downloaded like 10 or 12 demos. And that's not even all. That's not even like a page of demos. Man, I mean, there's so many demos and they are all horrible looking. These were the best ones. Probably. I could be wrong, but like just like looking at them first blush, you can tell a lot through like a video, like a screenshot. You can tell if a game's going to be worth checking out. And boy, I scraped a little, but these are probably the best that you could be playing right now.
Wow.
Not to mention, I mean, obviously I played the Unicorn Overlord demo and that game's fantastic. And I'm glad I played that and the save transferred over. So like, fuck yeah. But I don't know. It's a little bit rough out there for demos, but I mean, there's a lot of demos. That's a lot of stuff.
I want to wrap around back to Unicorn Overlord. I just think I need to kind of be mentally prepared.
Your body was ready for Skyrim.
Apparently.
You can't deny what the body needs.
Apparently. Brandon also came down this weekend. He brought me Final Fantasy 16. And I'm like, yeah, I said I'd give that a try. And I'm sure I'll like it. He's like, it's Devil May Cry meets Game of Thrones. I'm like, that sounds cool.
EJ, the big Devil May Cry fan.
Well, I like a good hack and slash. I like just being OP as hell and fucking shit up and being flashy and bombastic about it, That's
You'll
fun.
like it. It's a good action RPG. The combat's great. I mean, buy or sell some other stuff, and then broad strokes, the world building, story, performances, like all pretty excellent.
Just do not get the DLC apparently.
Oh, apparently.
I'm not doing this today. I will say Rising Tide's gonna go up. It's only got 3 reviews. One of them is 100% wrong. Having read the Press Start Australia review, there's no fucking way that's a 6 out of 10. And it's not scored on their website either. So I don't know where that number was pulled or why, but I did email
Asshole.
OpenCritic and Press Start and said, hey, this is a thing. This feels wrong. Please fix it. Please.
The email desperation. Dude, I swear to God, nobody checks their email.
Was it the Press Start one that you were worried about? The 6 out of 10?
It's not a scored review. There's no score on the review page.
There's no
It's
score on the
hilarious.
review page, and if you read it, even the blurb that it picked for
Very
the
positive.
OpenCritic is glowing. It's effusive. And then I was like, oh, this must be one of those where they just like auto pulled a really out of context chunk or something. And I went and I read the whole thing and went, this is goddamn universally positive. Like,
What I'm confused about is their other reviews get scores. So what it looks like to me is they didn't put the score on the page for some reason, but maybe they submitted it to OpenCritic, or does OpenCritic just pull these things directly?
It depends. They've got different. You can like opt in to have your website be like auto generated, like populate automatically, and there's some that have to be manually pulled. Generally, the European websites have to be manually pulled because of the GRPE. I don't remember the acronym, but the privacy laws that got passed a few years back that make it so that every website you go to asks if you can save cookies. That's
Right.
because of the UK or Europe. So
Well, they gave,
similar.
for example, Tales of Kinzera Zhao got a review today, and it has a big old blurb at the end with their conclusion and a big old number score. It's strange that it's not on the Rising Tide review. That seems like that was probably an error on their part on their website. But then, so if they manually submitted this, they mean to submit an 8 instead of a 6, and maybe they just fat fingered their
dude, I
number
don't
pad.
know.
There's been other weird things like I can't remember which game it was last year that it got a 4, or was it last year or even earlier this year that it got populated as a 4 out of 10 when it was a 4 out of 5 or something.
That was an interesting little wrinkle this weekend. We had a couple of games we were looking scoreboard watching for, and we don't have to dive into that. But I will say, with Brandon down this weekend, it was a pretty entertaining affair. Just seeing things slowly trickle in, including his own game. I'm happy to say I beat him on our side bet. Grand Blue somehow, by the skin of its teeth, ends up being better than fucking Ayuden.
Skin of its teeth, like 6 whole points.
That's true. It dropped.
I did some quick math because there's only 3 scored reviews on Rising Tide.
Boy
If-
math.
If this is in fact an 8, the score will jump 6.5 points to a 77.4, something like that. If it is a 9 and they inverted the 6 for some stupid reason,
Australia.
it jumps 9 points to an 80. And let me tell you, when I really need to see an 8 on my board right now, I really need to see
Chris.
an 8 on my board right now.
Let me have some of your copium because you are doing hard work there, bud.
It's all I have. It's all I have.
Yeah, listen. Okay, before we get too down the rabbit hole, because I got a lot to roast Chris for. It's been a very memeable 10 days. Chris has been
Buckle up, bitches.
buckle up, bitches. This episode. Okay, that next episode we'll do it next week. All right. Maybe we'll have Brandon on for a mini update. He's got a new microphone. Maybe we'll come in. We'll do a mini update. We won't get crazy with it, but I like being current.
Yeah,
as
have him
things
talk to
happen.
us about Ayuden. I'm sure he's beaten that and 7 other JRPGs since the last time we talked.
No, remember, Brandon doesn't beat games. He just plays all of them.
He's played 10 and has beaten none of them.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I misspoke. He plays JRPGs like I play demos.
Exactly. So Brandon came down and we mostly just laid on the couch. I played Skyrim. It was kind of nice to my inner commentary that I'm constantly like talking to myself and thinking about what's happening and mostly just being like this fucking janky thing here. It was nice to be able to just say it all out loud to poor Brandon sitting next to me for 2 straight days and having his commentary. And Brandon's fucking hilarious and just says dumb shit and makes me laugh. So that was good. It was a nice weekend, but we went game shopping. He went out and picked up a couple of interesting titles, including Sushi Striker, which I'd kind of seen before.
I own it.
Have you played it?
No, I just remember it reviewing really poorly for Switch because it was a 3DS game. So all the
Yeah.
touch controls are like tried to either awkwardly be put on thumbsticks for TV play or like poorly implemented in handheld mode.
All I know is that Brandon was playing handheld on my couch and he was like, I'm watching anime right now. I'm like, what? I'm watching anime. And so he just holds up a Switch and turns up the volume and we're watching this ridiculous like 10-minute cutscene of this boy being like, I hate sushi. And then this guy is like, but you've never tried this sushi. And it's just the most anime-ass anime shit, but it's all about sushi. It was fucking ridiculous. I'm like, okay, I need to buy this game just for the anime. The game probably does suck. I mean, it was like in the 7s, middling, as some might say.
Perfectly at home on my roster.
Oh,
It might be one of your better games at this point. What did Sushi Striker get? It'd be your best game. Oh, man. Anyway, that was the weekend. That's the long and short of it. The short and short of it. Ate a lot of hot dogs.
yo, glizzies. Perfect weather for it.
Went to Costco Friday night for a little Costco dog. And then yesterday,
Jealous.
we went to this little joint down at Fifth Street Market called One Bad Dog. It's this little...
I know you got that dog in you.
Listen, it's run by... I'm going to get this right. This is relevant to Chris's interests. It's a former Oregon Duck who took over the business in 2015, I think. They've been around forever.
Joey Harrington.
I don't know what that name means.
Chris does.
That is an Oregon Duck.
Yeah, I wish I could find more history on it. I had one point see. Anyway, they're dope ass hot dogs. Everything is served on like a piece of Hawaiian bread, and he has all these like infinite combinations you can do. He's got dessert dogs. Brandon had the triple glizzy, which was like 2 types of dogs and a hot sausage, just wrapped up in a double freaking loaf of Hawaiian bread. This is true gamer fuel right here, boys. This is it. When you're doing nothing besides farting on the couch with your boys, you need fuel, okay?
You need processed meat.
That's exactly it. Would have been nice if Nick had come down, but, nuts out and all that. We are looking forward to our trip next month when Chris is in town.
Yeah, I'm saving up my pennies.
Woo!
Saving up your
Social
social
currency.
energy. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's fair enough. Chris, you're done with your sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably had too much of it.
You doing okay?
I'm fine. Just
You get the meat sweats.
I'm just fine. No meat sweats.
Oh, man. You been playing anything other than Dark Souls? Or has that pretty much been it?
No, that's been it. Actually, that's not true. I had mentioned in the episode chat, shouting out Commander Keen as like an extremely extremely formative like PC game that kind of gets lost in like that was the 90s. Kind of gets lost amidst the other like console mascot platformers, but was like equally iconic and emblematic of that time, especially on like home computers as that began to become a space for games in the MS-DOS era. And these are games my dad would play, Commander Keen. I had arrived at remembering Commander Keen because I will see my homepage recommended a link to a collection coming to the Switch with a bunch of Atari Lynx titles, and I was like, oh, cool, because that's like basically the one remaining weirdo game console that I really want in my collection that I don't have. And I was like, oh, I wonder what's on that collection. And one of them was fucking Chips Challenge, and that took me all the way back. And so I started doing a little Googling on Chips Challenge and found that it had been restored from the Lynx version on the eShop and also happened to be on sale. And I had some gold points, so I paid like $1 and downloaded Chips Challenge. That's an old school MS-DOS game that's like a little top-down puzzler with a time limit. You are the eponymous Chip, and you are trying to solve puzzles left for you by some girl whose name I forget, who will let you into the Bite Brigade, maybe is what they're called, but like she's gonna let him into her nerd club if he does these nerd puzzles. 90s or late 80s MS-DOS plot. I'm using air quotes. And so it's just, you move around and there's different obstacles like fire, ice, water, and you can traverse them if you get different types of pickups. This looks and feels a little different than the one I remember because this is the Lynx version, not the MS-DOS one. And obviously, like the sound on those MS-DOS games is really, really specific and iconic, and it doesn't quite sound right if you're not getting basically just making different parts of the computer make noise to simulate sound. It's not even like true sound. It's like we are tweaking this part of the computer to make this sound come out of it.
Yeah, it sounds like a wood chipper. But in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. Like a really nostalgic, wonderful wood chipper. So
Wood Chipper's Challenge.
Hey, he brought it around. So I played like 10 levels of that the other night before bed and just had a good time fiddling around with some of those puzzles. I think there's like 100 levels, and this like has a save system that you can save state and save scum and do whatever you want. And
What, no password system?
oh, it still has the password system. If you really want to be a sicko and write down all your level passwords, you can. I will not be doing that.
Thank God.
So that was like a fun blast from the past. There was a whole like dad came home with a floppy disk from work. One of his friends had made him a floppy disk with a bunch of like key MS-DOS
Shareware.
games. Yeah, shareware, exactly. So he had Chips Challenge on it, Jezball, which is a fun like you click the right. You right click to switch your cursor from horizontal to vertical, and you left click to basically just make a line that will bisect the playing area and remove all of the space that doesn't have balls in it.
What you had was Microsoft Entertainment Pack 4, which included Chess, Chips Challenge, Dr. Blackjack, Go Figure, Jezball, Maxwell's Maniac, and Tic Tac Drop.
I may have Pipe Dream was also on this. It may have been a home somebody like put some specific ones together. But that the
Pipe Dream.
entertainment pack, because that was Mom's game forever. Pipe Dream, like Mom loved.
Pipe Dream was
playing
on
Pipe
Microsoft
Dream.
Entertainment Pack 2,
Maybe
which
we had
also
more.
included Rattler Race, Rodent's Revenge, Stones, Tut's Tomb,
Oh,
Idlewild,
Tatsu,
Free
yep.
Cell.
Free Cell. Yep. There's another one. It's Hugo Harry. It's like a spooky, like you go into a house, you're trying to save your girlfriend. This demented scientist has kidnapped her, and there's like little puzzles in. God damn it! What is the name of that game? I swear it's like Hugo's Adventure or something really fucking generic like that.
We're about to unlock something deep inside Chris.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Microsoft Entertainment Packs because I did find Chips Challenge in the various MS-DOS releases.
It is called Hugo's Adventure. No, Hugo's House of Horrors. It's a trilogy. What the fuck? I never knew this.
Top
Oh
100.
my god. No.
Christ. I told Chris he's on timeout for episode 200. He can come back around on 250 after swapping 14 games out last time.
The Hugo trilogy. Oh my god, there it is. Yeah, it's such a cool little point and click. EJ, you actually might really enjoy this. Use a guide because some of it's really fucking annoying and obtuse. Like there's a dog. Like we could never get past the dog as kids. Like you go into the room and the dog just literally like bites you and you fall down and you game over every time. But you have to go to the kitchen first and you have to get the steak. And then when you go into the room with the dog, you use the steak and the dog will eat the steak and the dog will leave you alone. But I was a youth when that game was on our home computer and I didn't know that. Anyway, so it just, it took me down a whole realm of thinking back to the like really early MS-DOS days. God, there's that other one. I swear to God, we've talked about this one on the podcast already, but it's that like, you're in a school and the evil scientist is going to that's a great screenshot. That's a great screenshot. That is very much the room above the convenience store, which means nothing to you, but everything to anybody who has watched Twin Peaks will be like, oh yeah, that is the room above the convenience store. Anyway, damn, yeah, what a cool era. Just a lot of really weird little interesting games with fun bleeps and bloops that make me feel warm and fuzzy. I watched Commander Keen episode 1 or chapter 1 or whatever, like the one that was free on shareware before you bought the full version of the game. You'd get like chapter 1, you know what I mean, with like Doom. Like no one's beaten Doom. If you've beaten Doom, no, you haven't. You've beaten the first part of Doom that was free. And I love that, hearing all the Commander Keen noises of him like hitting his pogo stick and picking up candies and jumping on aliens, and to be back. So paid $1 for Chips Challenge. It's been cool.
3 weeks? 3 weeks you're going to be here, Chris?
That's right.
Live and in the flesh. We've yet to book a place, but we will. We'll get there. Wait, what are those days? Hold on. If I get this new job, I think it starts on the 13th.
10th through the 13th.
Yeah, you'd have to leave
I'd
like
leave
later
early.
Sunday, but I mean,
Sad.
come on.
Oh well. So what do we gotta do?
Big chill. Eat food, not move.
Okay, so I need to bring both my Guitar Hero packs and the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm bringing the air fryer.
Oh
Woo!
shit, son.
Woo! Oh, baby. Yeah, man, I want to post up with the dudes. That is the whole point of the trip. Tiffany was like, oh, you guys should get a place near Silver Falls, and then you could go hike Silver Falls. It's you can see 7 waterfalls. And I'm like, Tiffany,
My nuts are gonna be out. No time for hiking.
I was like, that sounds great if we were both going, but I'm going, and I am literally going so I can hang out with the guys and just play games and be dipshits, because I've had such a fantastic time the last 2 times that we have done that, when we went to the beach with the full OG group chat, and when we were at your place for 2 days in the holidays. Those were some really, really good times. And I don't do that enough when I travel. I'm always trying to do stuff, and I just wanted to post up, hang out, play games, cook food, be dipshits, maybe throw a dart.
Watch a movie. Something low stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to eat. I want to hang. I want to nap. I want to nap. I want to do a lot of napping. Maybe we find a hot tub or a pool table and,
Nap in the hot tub. Nap on the pool table.
Just shooting around EJ's prone body while he's asleep.
Oh, no.
I scratched in EJ's nose.
Oh, no.
Ugh.
That would be the best case scenario.
I was going to say, ball on ball action. I could just...
Ball pobble.
Pass the chalk.
Chalk.
If everything goes chalk, I think it's going to come out good for people on both sides of the trade. If everything goes chalk.
It's true, man.
It's just chalk. It's just been chalk all the way down. So that's the plan, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to do a couple other things, like have a family, some time with family. Mom's getting a sub on Thursday, and we're just going to hang out, me and her and Nana. I'm going to go with Josh on Thursday night to the arcade bar, because Wednesday of that week is his birthday. And I was like, oh, dope. Like, let's go do something. I want to throw some disc golf with him and one other guy on Monday, but just big easy. I don't want to do a lot of
germs.
things.
Don't get sick. Don't bring the sickness. Let's all be healthy. Keep your hands to yourself for the next 3 weeks. No licking door handles.
But that's how I wake up every morning. Straight to the door handle.
Some people drink coffee.
I've been drinking too goddamn much coffee, because as we know, there is a nationwide Adderall shortage. And so I go fill my prescription. Walgreens tell me it's delayed. It's been this way the last 3 times. And in the meantime, the only way I can cope and sit down and get things done with any amount of efficiency is just to guzzle black coffee in the mornings. I don't love it. I really want to pare down, and my prescription is finally filled. I was going to get it today, but then I was sick with a different kind of sickness. The fucking brown bottle flu.
Listen, there's a whole world of amphetamines for you to discover out there, Professor. No comment.
I don't know about that. I like my substances mind altering, not life destroying.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you ever tried to snort the Adderall?
I have not. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't like a little bit curious, but I don't. I have no desire. Just the thought of anything going up my nose sounds terrible. Honestly, and I know I could really use an Eddie pot or one of those like filtration systems that just like you put the nose plugs in and it just like pulls through one and pushes into one and pulls out the other, so it'll just cycle without you doing anything. It literally sounds like my worst nightmare of having to just sit there and feel that circulating in my skull in places where there should be no circulation. But I bet it would be like life-changing if I did do it. I'm not going to, so it'll all be speculation.
It's like Steve-O. What animal did Steve-O put through his nose? He's done all sorts of nasty shit.
The goldfish,
man.
probably.
He did the goldfish thing. Disgusting. I couldn't be
I have really big sinuses too.
You know, they say about guys with big sinuses.
They get a lot of shit stuck in their sinuses. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Or I literally got like half a gummy bear stuck in my sinus. And then I get into this
And how?
I don't know. I must have been like exhaling through my nose or something, but I'll get food stuck up there and then I'll go, and I'll snort it down. And because it has momentum getting sorted down, it'll get caught in my windpipe and then I'll have to cough it out of my windpipe and it'll literally Just be like,
No.
Just do the full cycle.
No.
fucking racquetball going back and forth. I'm so serious. It's awful.
Playing Pong, dude. That's disgusting.
This is the worst thing we've ever talked about.
Yeah, this is the worst conversation we've ever had.
Nah, we've talked about EJ's like exposed tooth nerve or whatever. Didn't we talk about that? That was pretty bad.
That was fun. That was fun. Did I update you on my tooth?
No, what's going on
No.
with your mouth, buddy?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
So
Your mouth
like,
bones.
3 weeks ago, I had a dentist appointment last minute because my dry socket is healed and the hole is filled, and I was starting to get a bunch of pain again, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I have a hard little lump over there, so I'm thinking like maybe I ate something that hurt the sensitive like new gum, and I got an infection again. And I go in, and he basically takes like 4 minutes to look around. He's got the mirror, he's poking, he's prodding. I'm like deeply uncomfortable. I'm not numb or anything. He's just back there, and he's like, well, good news and bad news. He said, the good news is we don't have to do anything today if you don't want to. The bad news is you have a sesame seed-sized piece of bone working its way out from where the tooth was extracted, and it's gonna hurt until it's gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it's just been 4 dentist appointments for 1 tooth extraction, weeks and weeks of misery over a month.
I remember specifically that being a disclaimer when I got my wisdom teeth removed. They're like, hey, by the way, if it like shatters and there's just like bone left in your mouth, it'll work its way out eventually. So if you have like bone splinters, like that's a possibility. That's a reality that you could live with. So there you go. You got
Trash.
a bone splinter, bud.
Good
Trash.
to know it wasn't just because of your sketchy cousin dentist.
He's
Man.
not sketchy.
You described him in sketchy tones.
He's just he's not as sensitive with me as he might be with a regular client.
So he's just a jackass.
He's like, quit being a pussy. This will be over in a minute. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're right, but I'm a big pussy, dude.
I'm how you say big bitch.
I'm absolutely massive.
I am dainty and scared of everything. And when you come at me with these crazy tools, I think I joked. I said he damn near had to put his knees on my shoulders last time he pulled a tooth.
Yeah, that's what you said. And that's where I was like, it gave me a really mental image of him with his knee like right in your sternum, just yanking
No,
with
can
one
you
hand.
imagine? No, the man's like 70 something. He's not limber enough for that. We don't really have anything to talk about. That was what we've been playing. There's been news, but we just don't ever talk news anymore. We're not nearly as structured, organized, or well researched enough anymore to really talk about it. I wouldn't mind it.
All of the
but
news is always the same and is either depressing or uninteresting.
Oh, Chris has got cats wreaking havoc.
Ridley knocked some of the plates down, like weight plates in the exercise area. Yeah, we have
Is
kind of
the
a
kitty
kind of a
okay?
s- oh,
Ridley's
he's,
trying to get a pump.
he's fine. Well, I mean, I have that video. Oh, I wonder if I still have that video. I'll send it to you. I had it on my Instagram story that Tiffany's working out and like she's bench pressing, and Gigi is like sniffing her arm and sniffing the weight and is looking and trying to decide what to do with this. And then she's doing, I think, curls, and Ridley is like on the workout bench facing the squat rack, like he's about to like bust some sets out. Just like, what are you doing? And she's like, this is literally every time. But I don't usually work in here. I haven't historically, but Tiffany I worked out at the bar counter with the like bar stool, the higher stool, which is not like the most comfortable thing, but I was like, this is a space where I can work. That is my space. But Tiff got an awesome pneumatic standing sitting desk, and she was going to get rid of her desk. And I said, no, that is my desk now. Which is why my setup has been so normalized in the last couple weeks. I actually have room to like set stuff up and put stuff away. You can see my face. So anyway, I'm never in here when she's working out, but now I am because I can work at a desk and not at a bar stool.
Well, shit.
I don't think there's been that much news. I mean, Metaphor got a date, which I'm pretty excited about actually. Because I would really like to play that game and have that be my introduction to Atlas JRPGs.
It looks real nice. I like the something that I have not really enjoyed in the 2 other Atlas JRPGs that I played, namely Persona 5 and SMT. Was that also 5? I think that was. Yes, because the new one's Vengeance. I didn't like the diversity of environments. It was all kind of either really bleak, which is fine. That's like the whole vibe of SMT, or like indoors. and this seems like you're running around like a world. And that seems really cool. Like I really loved the I started watching the trailer / gameplay demo that they posted earlier before we started recording, and there's this like ridiculous Howl's Moving Castle ass quote unquote fast travel. It's not really fast travel, it's more like a train that you live on, but it's got like arms and legs and stuff. And you're just going around your camper with all of your party members, and you can like cook food with them or hang out, and that seems cozy and dope. So yeah, a lot of this game looks really tight, and also the interaction as far as adding some action prior to combat. So if you are facing really weak foes, you can just defeat them with your actions before even going into a turn-based battle.
Thank fucking
Or you
God.
can like weekend, get like a critical hit, get like an opponent stunned before you start a battle. So it's more about like the strategy of how you engage with enemies or if you're stealthing around them. I just love that kind of stuff. I love the interaction with enemies inside and outside of battle.
We were just talking about this with Earthbound in the top 10s when you were talking about Mother 3, that they initiated that. I think, to my knowledge, Earthbound did, of being able to just kill enemies in the overworld when you interact with them without going into a battle screen based on your current level. That is such an underutilized feature that I also love the Paper Mario games did. Well, the 2 Paper Mario games that are Paper Mario games, that they do that as well. And I just don't see that done very often. What a great pull. What a great fucking pull to put that into the modern game space.
Usually it's like one or the other, where it's like, this is purely an action RPG, so you're going to be doing actions to beat your enemies, or this is purely a turn-based RPG, and you can run into enemies in the overworld, but then it does like a screen transition, the glass shatters or whatever, and then you're fighting the enemy for realsies. But even like, I wish more games just let you do an action to start a battle. Like, I don't think Mario and Luigi did that, which is a bummer, but Super Mario RPG didn't either. Paper Mario, I think, was the only one that did that, where you could actually hammer your foe and you start the battle with an attack, and like depending on what attack you do, it changes the intro to the battle. Yeah, more games need to do that. It's a really genius idea, and it's very engaging, and I really like it. So this game looks really great, and I'm stoked on it.
What day does Paper Mario come out?
That is May 23rd.
Oh man,
That is just about a month away. It's like 4 weeks away, dude.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
a month.
Man.
I'm stoked. That's going to be a jolly time. I'm just going to be smiling during that.
Dude, I love this for you. That was me last year. That was me last year in November with Smart PG in my Switch. I'm so stoked. I love it when we get to all play something that is really important to one or more of us. Yeah. That's
I don't
really
know what that's
cool.
like. One day.
Titanfall
one day.
2?
I'm taking that off the list next time.
Okay, we only know like the 3 games that you like, EJ, so we're just going to keep pounding those drums. Assassin's Creed 4, Skyrim, and I guess Titanfall 2. Those are the 3 games that you like, apparently.
I loved Spider-Man. I know we didn't all get on that train. Nick did his requisite 20 minutes.
I did my part.
I'm doing my part. Smash cut to Nick. I'm not doing shit.
Yo.
Well, hey, if they ever get off their ass and remake Awakening, you bet your ass I'm jumping in for that.
That's all I
Yeah, they
want.
put it on a good platform.
That's all I
that'd be
want.
nice.
That was such an earnest plea. That's all I want.
Just
please.
put it on. The Switch is 7 years fucking goddamn old. Why isn't everything on there?
I'll tell you what, if we do not get a Fire Emblem Awakening remake announced by 2025 E3 time, I know E3's dead, but I'm still going to refer to it as E3 season. If we don't get an announcement of that remake by 2025, I'm buying this game on 3DS. I'm throwing it in the 3DS. We're going to do Fire Emblem Awakening. We're going to do a retro Goobrick.
Oh man, I almost bought a copy of Fire Emblem Awakening for no reason other than at one point in time it was extremely hard to get a used copy of, and I don't know if it is anymore now, but there was a used copy for like $35, and so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it, and I don't know, I'll give it to Chris or something. But apparently it's not that hard to find anymore, thankfully. I remember when I bought a copy for Nick and I could not find one anywhere online. The prices were so inflated, and I was trying to find one locally. Ugh, it was quite the affair. And then I almost bought. I asked to have it taken out of the case, and I had the guy open it for me. for $85, a really clean boxed copy of Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Super Nintendo, but it had no manual and thus was overpriced.
What did they want for it?
$85.
What's the manual go for loose on something like eBay?
I couldn't find just a manual. I very quickly glanced at eBay. I didn't find a manual on that first page of my search, but like clean copies were selling for like $80. Complete.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's like, it's overpriced.
really?
Yeah, pretty affordable.
That's fucking crazy, dude, for a CIB copy? Oh, $80 on whatnot?
What if I look up mint? We put mint in the title and see what we get. So really, mint one will sell for about $1.50. That's inflated, but that's got all the little ephemera, the offer sheet, and everything. I mean,
Dude, 80s not bad.
good condition for $89 with the manual. Yeah, beautiful. I'd like to add that to the collection. Top 100. I want to collect the whole thing CIB.
That's crazy that that's that affordable. I would have assumed for sure that would have been over $1.
Now, generally, the best-selling games are available pretty cheap because there's a lot of them.
It gets a little different with boxes, though.
It can. Like, for example, Super Mario World, $900 complete in box because all those
It was
games were
bundled.
Pack-ins,
without the
yeah.
box. Yeah. So to get a standalone copy is like absurd.
Well, you know
Very
what kind of
rare.
shit I'm looking for too. Anyway, I mean, it's like the Mega Man X's and the Square, or the Square RPGs, and those are a lot. That's expensive. I could probably get 2 CIB Donkey Kong Country 2s for the price of one loose Mega Man X3.
Oh, especially X3. That late in the game, they printed 30 of them, and they're like, "Well, screw this. We're gonna sell Legends, and that's all."
Yeah.
I do need to have physical copies of those games at some point. It's just too important a series for me to not have cards
X3.
of 2 and 3. It's the principle. You know
I know,
that.
but I'm gonna look down upon you for your principles.
It's kind of nuts. It's frustrating that Nintendo did cardboard all the way until the fucking goddamn GameCube, which is totally silly. I mean, we had Master System games had clamshells, for Christ's sake, in the 80s.
Hey, still better than the jewel case plastic and how quickly those things snapped apart.
Right.
Definitely
it is
not
easy
better.
to replace, though.
Yeah, easy to replace a jewel case, not easy to replace a cardboard box.
What, are you gonna repro the jewel case, EJ?
They'll never know.
Yeah, whatever. They're all, and the thing is all jewel cases are the same. It's not like, oh, these were
I know.
Nintendo manufactured or PlayStation
No, I know.
manufactured.
I'm just being
Anyway.
a shit.
Like Chrono Trigger, for example, is like between $8 and $1,000 for a complete in box copy. I guess it depends on how complete. There are like posters in some of them, and you know, different iterations of the warranty cards and such. But it's pretty crazy. I mean, $85, and there was a lot like that. They had a lot of NES titles, and they were all sub 100, except for like Gold Cart Zelda was $200.
CIB.
Yeah. So it was pretty interesting. They had a really good selection this time around.
I've got a gold cart. I think I have 1 and 2 gold cart.
There you go. Yeah, the gold cart's the more standard one. I think it's the gray cart that's a little harder to find.
Oh,
But anyway, this has been a Meandering Console Crusade podcast. I'm gonna buy some Penn and Teller tickets here, fellas.
do it, man.
I'm gonna keep browsing Airbnb.
Hell yeah, lock us in, Daddy-O.
God, I guess I'm
Watch
gonna go to
basketball?
New Londo.
Go to
I actually was thinking about maybe putting on a game just because I don't know. I get to those big energetic stopping points, and then it just feels good to kind of let that sit in Dark Souls.
The amount of times that I finish a boss fight and I'm just sitting at a bonfire.
Yep.
With just the like droning sounds of bonfire,
Yeah.
and I'm just on that screen, posted up, character sitting the same way I am on the ground, nuts out, scrolling my phone.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I did that. I need to like take a little mental break.
Dude, I get now the importance of the Firelink Shrine, and it makes me really, really glad that I followed the guide for all of that stuff, because now that I've started throwing Lord Souls on the Firelink altar and I'm getting 20 fucking Estus flasks every time I reset Firelink, I'm like, that's crazy. That's so crazy. I have to. No, I know what I need to do. I could do this tonight. I need to throw on the Serpent Ring and go grind humanity in depths, not the depths, in depths. Because
I've got to go to depths. I'm going to army, mother.
Well, and it's like, and it's the catacombs. It's not catacombs, but it's depths. Like, it's just so goofy. I love it. Anyway, I have to. I'm not quite at. I haven't hit the second rank in Chaos Servant yet. I need to get that.
Gotta get that 30.
Gotta get that
dirty
30 to get me to +2 so that they open the shortcut so that I can save Solaire. Because if I head down now, I'd be worried about that. I also have to go down to Blighttown and save Siegmeyer's useless fucking ass and talk to.
Oh, he's just a worthless piece of shit, dude.
He's.
But he rules. He's such a homie.
I hate him.
And he's so thankful. He's just like, that was you, wasn't it?
He's
you
like,
have my thanks.
He's like, could try rolling. No.
Completely random. I know we said we're going to talk about this next week, but Nick, why didn't you bid on SteamWorld Heist and the rest of us did, and I spent $12 on it, and I'm worried? Tell me, Nick. Tell me on the podcast now. What are your thoughts? Be an open book.
I don't know. We've only got like a couple slots left. I don't want to fill it up with useless chaff.
Oh my God! Don't do this to me. Tell me you just forgot. And you know it's going to be a banger.
I haven't watched the demo yet, or the trailer. I had it like on my phone and I was listening to the indie showcase. So there's a few small standouts, very light standouts from that showing. But I don't know. I think there's going to be better stuff later in the year.
And you do only have a couple of slots left, so it makes sense. Because I'm
not going full Brennan, where I just don't get anything. Obviously, I've got a pretty full roster, but like my boy he's just waiting. I don't know why.
It's not going to pay off because I literally was just going to say we are already starting to see now that we're into fiscal year 25 or fiscal year 24, whatever. We're into Q2 moving forward. Boy, howdy, we are getting a lot of fucking 7s. A lot of games of the things dropping that people have been talking about, like Ayuden, like Kenzera, fucking Rising Tide, apparently, Harold Halibut, like all these 70s on games that were like widely drafted in Fantasy Critic. So Brennan, my brother in Christ, you need to open them coffers up a little bit more, dog. What's that cash good for? Nick, you struck a great balance, I think, in you're pretty full, but you've got some stuff and you've got flexibility if something gets pushed. You've got cash to drop, still be a competitor. Yep, once again.
I keep saying Bren's going to run away with the league this year, and I think he's certainly in a position to do so. But you know that he's just got at least 4 7s in him ready to slap on this board. So
he's going to get real excited about Destiny.
And
it'll be next to lose for sure. Chris, respectfully.
Hey, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that this week. I can do it to me. You can't do it to me this week.
All right.
We should save our mini update for my visit.
That sounds like work.
It's not that, bro. Come on, talking with the boys about games. That's not work.
Setting up a bunch of mics.
Having
5 mics all in the same room. Logistically, it's work. It's why we didn't do it last time.
You said that at the beach, and it really wasn't. I mean, it was like maybe a 30-minute prospect. We could keep it real tight, just do a little mini league update, and that's the episode for the week.
No such thing. We could try. We can see.
We all have hard outs. Soon as the clock strikes 5, we have to like pour the liquor, so everybody's hard out of 5. Anyway, look, just a thought, because it'd be fun to have that in-room energy and be able to look.
It would certainly be high energy, and that's the only time we'll ever get Brennan to talk more than like 6 words consecutively.
That's what I'm saying.
Get him a couple of whiskeys in him, and he's gonna fly off the handle.
Yeah. Oh, EJ, you get to play big buck, bro. You get to play big buck.
Time to get bucked.
Finally. All right. This has been an episode that you've listened to. I'm sorry, and I thank you. It is, without a doubt, one of the episodes of all time. Call the Crusade Podcast.